1995. R&B is all drum machines and digital production. Slick, polished, safe. Hip-hop and soul are living in two different houses. All of a sudden, a 21-year-old from Richmond, Virginia, walks into a New York studio with a Fender Rhodes, a Hammond organ, and a head full of Marvin, Prince, and Tribe. He plays almost everything himself, writes it, produces it, arranges it. Nobody asked for this record, but it would build a bridge between those two worlds. His manager anointed it the birth of neo-soul, but D'Angelo never claimed that term. He just said, I make black music. This is Brown Sugar, and he's got someone he wants you to meet.
Let me tell you about this girl, maybe I should. I met her in Philly, and her name was Brown Sugar. See, we be making love constantly, that's why my eyes are a shade blood burgundy. The way that we kiss isn't like any other way that I be kissing when I'm kissing. What I'm missing, won't you listen? Brown sugar, babe, I guess high up your love, I don't know how to be.
I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Music Explored.
Explored, brought to you today by Open Studio. Go to openstudiojazz.com for your jazz lesson needs. Peter, big day.
Big day. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it is.
We're going back in time. In fact, we're going so far back in time that I got a little confused what decade it was. I did say 1995,
You
right?
did, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I realized, this is 1995 right here. This is scream in the middle of the 90s.
You know how many Toyota Celicas I got in the passenger seat of, where a copy of that CD, D'Angelo's Brown Sugar, was kind of broken. The case was broken, and it was sitting on the floor of the Celica.
Yeah.
And it had the Celica also, by the way, it had ground effects. It had a wing on the back.
Some McDonald's French fries.
Hell yeah. Smelled like weed, the whole thing.
Half of this was kind of ripped up, but it had been looked,
Absolutely.
There was what a time.
And by the way, CD was on the floor. That Celica didn't come with a CD player. It had a tape deck with that convertible
with the
thing.
aux,
You know what I'm saying?
aux. Yeah, aux.
Exactly.
Maybe it had the aux. Oh, 95 was great because we weren't really like Y2K. Maybe it was just a little like a joke, a glimmer. We weren't freaking out about it yet.
Not yet.
But I got confused because I pulled out. You know what this is, my friend?
Yes.
Well, of course you know because you were around there. But this was my very first CD player.
Where did you find
this?
That
This
thing?
is the Sony. Well, this is the same model. This is not the actual player. I found it on a little place called eBay. I can send you a link if you want.
That is commitment to physical media.
This is the D50 though. This was the actual first, and I was so excited for this episode. But then I realized I got my decades wrong. I bought this in 1985.
I was gonna say that's a little bit bulky for 95.
Yeah. But it was sort of piggybacking on our Michael Jackson bag, which was one of my first early non-jazz CDs. So.
Man, do you remember when this album came out, Brown Sugar?
Oh, absolutely.
It blew me away. I remember, it's one of those moments that only happens occasionally in your lifetime where you hear music and you're like, oh, I don't think I've ever heard anything quite like this.
Right.
This is like a new thing for us.
I totally agree. It just, records that as soon as you hear like that intro, that it just takes you back to a place, man.
Yeah.
What a wonderful thing that we have with this. And one thing about this is, It is something new, and it was like, whoa, but it was also something backwards.
It feels familiar.
Right?
That's
man.
The genius about D'Angelo, and actually all three of his studio albums, is they both feel like something totally fresh that you've never heard before, and it also feels like something from your childhood somehow. Like it feels like something that's been around forever.
Right.
It feels like something that is very familiar to the culture, and yet it has this air of freshness, this new combination. It's the mark of, I think, any true genius. And I'll throw the G word out for D'Angelo. Truly one of the great musicians of our lifetime.
I'll put a capital on that G, my friend.
It's really, really good. And I love this album so much. To me, this is like the classic announcement of a brand new mega talent.
Yeah.
And, we were so excited about this. It's what really caused Voodoo to be such a massive hit, is people were so excited to see what was next from, the artist that made Brown Sugar, that anticipation for Voodoo was so incredible. And did that pay off.
Absolutely. And this was a time still, maybe the tail end of it kind of, but when you were coming out with great records and getting hits and stuff like this to have another record that next year, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even 9 months later. And it was 5 years till Voodoo came out.
That's right.
So that was an eternity then. It still would be. But this is something that's exciting. I think too, like this thing of like, what does it harken back to? Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, those are sort of obvious things. But I think for folks that maybe came up kind of Gen Xer types like us, and a little older and a little younger too, it was, Prince, right? Who was ever present still there then, of course, in the mid-90s and before this, but was so influential on this. But also the connection to hip-hop, which I think D'Angelo doesn't get enough credit for. The first track here, Brown Sugar, that we're going to dig into a little bit deeper even than we just did, I think is such an example of that. And with Ali Shaheed Muhammad, that connection with Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
But the grooves all over this record are like, they're hip-hop grooves, but he's singing soul and background. And he wasn't the first to bring these disparate elements together, but I mean, he sure was the first to like put it together, and then his manager coined it neo soul, which he didn't like. And none of them liked it.
He never claimed it.
He never claimed it. But whatever it was this soul jazz. We're going to talk.
For sure,
we always talk a little jazz, but there's
jazz musicians on this album too.
We have jazz, some of the greatest '90s or anytime jazz musicians on this record.
Let's listen to a little more Brown Sugar, and then I want to talk about the '90s a little more. So maybe let's listen to this open track, get it in our ears.
Let's do it. Big fat B minor 6 to start it out. Come on. So the background chatter, studio chatter, very Marvin, but very Tribe also.
Let me tell you about this girl, maybe I should. I met her in Philly, and her name was Brown Sugar. See, we be making love constantly, that's why my eyes are a shade blood burgundy. The way that we kiss is unlike any other way that I be kissing when I'm kissing. What I'm missing, won't you listen? Brown sugar, babe, I guess high off your love, I don't know how to behave.
All the background vocals.
Oh.
This is like that's the Prince thread, you know.
Right.
That the attention to detail on those.
And the mix on these vocals, extraordinary. The backgrounds and the main, I mean.
Also, man,
yeah.
Virginia, dude.
Yes. The gospel influence.
Oh, sugar, when
Second
you close
verse.
to me, you love me right down to my knees. And whenever you let me hit it, sweet like honey when it comes to me. Skin is caramel with the cocoa eyes. Even got a big sister by the name of Chocolate Top. Brown sugar, babe, I guess high off of love, don't know how to behave.
Man. Can we talk about the sound of that snare drum real quick?
Oh, so great.
Incredible.
Ali Shaheed Muhammad did the drum programming on this. The organ, the Hammond B3, that's D'Angelo, of course.
Cut me up some.
But the snare is
that organ
perfect.
bass too?
I think it is. I mean, I'm convinced that it is. It's definitely D'Angelo on it. I mean, you hear that sustain on it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's the Virginia, Richmond, the gospel influence.
Yeah, he comes.
D'Angelo's father was.
There's some great videos on YouTube of him playing as a teenager in his church.
Yeah.
And it is sublime.
It's incredible.
Unbelievable.
And he comes out of that, you know, the Pentecostal four male quartet vocal tradition.
Quartets.
Which he put his own thing together and had been doing that. And then he's doing that with the backgrounds on this. It's incredible. But I think that this, you know, with Ali programming the drums on this, and also probably even a bigger influence on D'Angelo beyond just this track and this record, Ali Shaheed Muhammad is the one that connected Bob Power, who we just lost this last week. So, I mean, this is as much a celebration of Bob Power and his collaboration with D'Angelo, and also just all of the mini records from this period that he worked on. But I mean, he was the engineer, but he also played guitar. He produced. They did stuff at his loft up in Union Square, just him and D'Angelo that were demos. A lot of that stuff made it onto this record. Some of it D'Angelo wanted more of it to come on this record, but he was just a force. And seeing the outpouring of love and appreciation and camaraderie with Bob Power this last week has been amazing from some of the best musicians on the planet.
R.I.P. to one of the best, Bob Power.
Yeah.
Can I just put in your ears a little bit? I mean, not literally put in your ears, but do you remember the early 90s, some of the R&B? You remember Brian McKnight?
Yeah.
You remember Boyz II Men?
Yeah, sure.
Remember,
they were going strong.
En Vogue.
Yeah.
Right? R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember him.
But the sort of pop music influence, especially with Brian McKnight, Babyface.
Yeah.
Even Boyz II Men, like the shiny,
programmed,
polished. This has more of that organic 70s soul vibe. I think it's easy to take for granted now because D'Angelo has been such a huge part of music in our lifetime since this album, that this was it felt so different. I remember it so clearly. I think I was a sophomore in high school when this came out, and I just remember the video for this and him on a real roads, and I just learned what a real roads was around then, you know, and knowing like that was a bit of a statement. Yeah. Right? It wasn't a digital, brand new, shiny, insonic synthesizer. Right. But it was this earthy, organic Rhodes that Stevie Wonder played, you know? Yeah. That kind of thing.
It was the sound, it was the visual, but it was also, you know, somebody sitting at that instrument and connecting with the elders. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, Herbie in the 70s and stuff. Like, he was making a statement with that.
And then the hip hop thing is I think it's legitimate. There's no like rapping on this album.
No.
There are a lot of 4-chord vamps on this album.
Yes.
Like this whole song is just these 4 chords that happen together. And it's a lot. There's a few tracks like that on Brown Sugar. And I think it does make for it seems like at any moment someone's about to come in and like spit a verse. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. It feels like it could happen.
It could totally fit over this.
Right?
And it's kind of like D'Angelo, and he talked about this, something like his aesthetic, his connection with the music, the grooves, the beats, especially Tribe Called Quest, but also J Dilla. We're going to get into some of that, the connection with that a little bit later. But like, he wanted that sound, but then he also like had a vision for, like, he'd already done demos of these, most of these songs, or at least half of them he wrote when he was like 16, 17 years old in Richmond, Virginia, in his bedroom, some of them with his brother. You know, he had like an Insonic, one of those 4 tracks that he won when he came up to New York, the famous story about, you know, he won the Apollo thing and everything. So like, he had worked a lot of this music out, and he wanted that sound. And so that's actually how he connected. He asked, I think it was Ali Shaheed Muhammad or somebody in Tribe to connect him with Bob Power, because he's like, I like his sound. Like, so he, the same way like later on, Pino Palladino, like he went into the B.B. King session and was like, oh my God, I've been looking for someone that loves James Jamerson as much as me. That's what I want.
That's my
like,
guy. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put out there also today, not only is this an incredible record, and D'Angelo, yes, capital G with the genius, but also incredible visionary and band leader.
100%.
You know, I mean, he's 21 years old on this, and like, we're gonna hear some live stuff that he did. And I remember like when he was on David Letterman, he went on a huge,
I mean,
what was the London show? Jules
Holland.
Jules Holland.
Yeah.
He went with the band, man, and he was like sitting at that Rhodes, and then he'd sing these lines, and then, man, this is nothing programmed.
This is why church musicians rule the world, because they can do all that.
Exactly.
Like they can back it up with some real playing and real live performance. Can I get a little music nerdy for our music nerds? And this is some weird nerd jujitsu, because I'm gonna use some nerdy stuff to encourage my music nerds out there.
You need to come over here, I got
No, you got it. Okay. Do you know this tune? You know the changes to the tune? What key is it in here?
B minor.
So B minor. So for my music nerds out there, don't be too precious with your keys, with your major and your minor. One of the, I think, most powerful things about Brown Sugar is there's a few times when he's like, I guess high. The high.
Yeah.
Right? Which is like, you're reaching up there, you're thinking that's going to be the minor. I guess high.
Yeah.
A few times he bends it up even more to the D sharp.
Bends it up,
I guess. Can you play a B minor?
Yeah.
I guess high.
Yeah.
High.
Bending it up, right.
Bending it up. Even though the chord he's playing is minor, he's singing that major third over it. And not only does it not sound bad, it sounds amazing. It's like it brings you back into the cosmos almost. Like it takes you to a new plane. I know that sounds grandiose, but this shit is grandiose, man. It's really good.
It is. And I mean, it's a little bit overly simplistic to like call it
it is. This is
bluesy.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But it is. But I mean, like, it's that element.
Well, it's the tradition of the blues. That is that major minor rub is what makes Western Black American music so amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's what makes it so different and special.
So this is the beginning, just the vocals in the background. So you get this kind of studio chatter
What
thing.
is that?
You know, it's the Marvin Gaye, it's the Tribe Called Quest.
Is that
thing.
the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, it was with Marvin. But it's throughout the track. And so it gives us this, you know, it's just like this.
It just keeps going on
It
the
just
whole
gives
time?
it a vibe, yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Does it really?
Yeah. But then later on, like when the backgrounds come in, you're not hearing it.
That's some Tribe stuff there.
Yeah, it's totally.
Yeah.
You hear it? And you know, EMI famously.
Conversation going
Yeah, they're like, what's going on, man?
I had no idea. I mean, I heard in the beginning, but I just didn't even realize.
Yeah, you don't really know. I mean, you notice it
It's like
once you hear it, you can't
smoldering
unhear it.
or something.
It's like you're in the studio, and it's got a certain, and like some of these tracks, and we're gonna even hear D'Angelo talk about this, are very clean and they're killing it. And it's like kind of the opposite of this. Is the one track which is incredible because this wasn't the biggest hit, but this was one of the hits, right?
It's got to be the biggest hit, is it? No, I guess Lady's probably the biggest hit.
Yeah, Lady. But this was the first single though, and this was the one that he was doing on. And when everybody was like, "Damn!"
I'll tell you what though, for me and my friends, this was the one. This track was the one. This is probably going to make it into the categories for me. This track.
Yeah, no, it's so great. But I mean, and when he goes into like, but you can still hear it, right? Once you hear it, you can't. But check out this bass on the organ. This is just the left hand, or maybe it's with the feet.
That's probably the left hand.
Oh, did you hear the boo-boo-doo, man? Did he have a little filling gains in there?
That's the thing, man. He had all of it in there. He's one of those musicians you would just love to talk to him about music and talk to him about his influences.
Yeah.
Listen to music with him would be amazing.
Yeah. You know, it's that organic feel, even though it's the programmed drums, that like that tribe sound that it just, you know, it's loose. It's that loose production aesthetic too. And that's that chatter in the studio. It's just like we're falling into this thing. EMI was pissed about this. They were like, no, smooth it out. And he had to really fight to keep this one on there. And because they were like, you're going to start, this is going to be the first single. And they loved the song, but they thought it was too rough around the edges.
They were wrong.
I think they were wrong on that. Okay, let's explore a little bit more. There's some great archived interviews. Red Bull Music Academy, which I don't think it exists anymore, but there was a wonderful interview.
Like Red Bull, the energy drink?
The energy drink. They were in the music interview business for a while.
They do everything. Skydiving, F1,
yeah.
D'Angelo.
But I mean, he did a wonderful interview. You know, he didn't do a lot of interviews. He didn't like big crowds of people. Raphael Saadiq said that. He was like, he liked to be,
shy.
you know, when he would record in the studio, especially later on, he'd have like, already a studio's like a cave usually, like no windows or anything. Yeah. And then in the vocals, when he was running vocals, he'd have like a sort of tent cave thing, to like a cave within a cave. You know, he wanted to feel, he didn't want people around. He wanted to concentrate. You know, he was never social media or anything. I mean, it was like.
I get it.
Yeah. But this is where he talks about what we mentioned before about coming together with Bob Power. This is D'Angelo.
Just about the entirety of the first album, Brown Sugar, I wrote it, the majority of that record, in my bedroom in Richmond. And all of the demos for it were done on a 4-track in my bedroom. I think EMI was a little leery of me being in the studio, producing it on my own, which is what I was fighting for. So it was important for them that I go in with someone, an engineer. Everyone was trying to pick, like, you should get Prince's engineer or somebody else. And I picked Bob Power because of my love for Tribe and what they were doing. And it was the best thing to do. And he was so awesome. He taught me a lot. All of the demos that I had, basically, before we even set foot in the studio, we were at Bob Power's house for like 3 months, like going over every detail, like tweaking every hi-hat, every cymbal, you name it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's amazing. I've never heard that. That's incredible.
Yeah. And, you know, this is one of those records where it's listed, and this was the fashion at that time because people were actually doing it. Composed, written, arranged, produced, and performed by D'Angelo.
Yeah.
You know, which is like, you know, very much coming out of the Stevie Wonder tradition, but very much
Prince,
you know, coming out of that tradition. And then, of course, there was other people on there, but you have to go across a certain threshold to be able to say that. It doesn't mean you can't have a little guitar, a little trumpet, which is on here. You know, Raphael Saadiq, killing guitar and bass. But I mean, the fact that like everything not only is and he wrote almost everything too. I mean, there's the one cover, Cruisin, and there's a couple of collaborations.
Great cover.
Yes.
His covers are amazing.
Oh man, he could have done a great cover record.
Oh my God.
A whole type of thing. But anyway, yeah, so I just wanted to kind of frame it on that that partnership with Bob Power and D'Angelo on this. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's check out the next track.
Yeah. Now this was, oh man, I love this. I forgot, for some reason, I would skip over this a little bit for some time.
Oh, this is good, man.
But it's
all
so
right?
good. I'm not saying it ain't good. That's the joy of music, right? Coming back to it and you're like, all right.
Shout out to some envelope filters on this album.
Yeah.
Just full of little wah things.
And that's Bob Power on guitar. This is just D'Angelo and Power.
So good.
The drug programming on this. I think they out-Wendelled Wendell. Wendell who?
That's alright. We made a misunderstanding. That's okay. Because you're my girl and I'm your man, and that's just fine. Girl, you still trust me. We'll be all. Cause all we have to do is just talk for a while. And every she at least we drink too much to let us get in the middle. So let the seas back, cause everything gonna be alright.
That melody comes back a little bit too later. He uses that in Lady as well.
Yeah. Man, the way they've got the vocals sitting in the mix and the backgrounds, we're gonna check them out separately because it's so well setting in there. You almost, I mean, like when you turn it down, you kind of hear it almost better, you know. And this is Wah Wah Watson. That's what Power is doing. He's channeling, you know, the great guitar,
great Wah Wah
you know,
amazing.
the placement of the drum. Oh, and this is the thing. D'Angelo's 21 years old. I mean, he was, you know. I never got a chance to meet him, but I was kind of around him a couple of times in the same room, and he had that aura, like that old soul aura to him.
You could hear it in the music.
You could hear it in the music, and
hear him talking too. You could hear it.
You
in his
hear it
voice,
talking, but like that was authentically who he was. And like when we come across these artists, these geniuses, you know, and certainly he was celebrated. And since his passing last year, it may feel like everybody's celebrating even more. And you know, one wonders is like, man, do we understand the loss? Can you ever when it's you can't quantify it with 3 records or 4.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about that. It's like the presence of somebody that gave their art, you know, willingly in a way that was like authentic to them, certainly, and their old soulness, his old soulness, but also like the work, like he said, he's like, we sat there for 3 months sweating every detail on this.
Yeah, you could hear
like,
it.
People don't understand. It's like, and he could have, like you see him on those live performances, he's killing, and we're going to listen to some.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they couldn't have just gone with a band, but like he didn't have the vision actualized yet. Right,
Yeah.
It was still up here,
Yeah.
and then he's meeting, you know, Ali, Bob Power, different people, you know, Raphael Saadiq, you know.
I think he is one of the and you know we always say like you know, we only got 3 studio albums from him, but it's because we only got 3 studio albums because there was 5 years between Brown Sugar and Voodoo, and then what, 12, 13 years between Voodoo and Black Messiah, something like that,
maybe 14,
maybe 14,
12,
something like that, and we get 3 studio albums, but it's like such a clear case of, you know, the sort of early and then mid and then later stages of a great artist's career that we see in other artists. I've actually been thinking about this in terms of even like film directors as I've been listening to Brown Sugar and Voodoo this week, honestly, and Black Messiah this week too. I listened to once, but like I've been thinking about people like, you know, these 2 directors, it's almost Oscar season here, Peter, in 2026. And it's like, you know, everybody's talking about Sinners and One Battle After Another and Ryan Coogler and Paul Thomas Anderson. And I think there's like, you get to see in D'Angelo's studio albums, like the evolution of this amazing artist happens so clearly, where this album is his like Fruitville Station, his creed. Like, it's like, wait, who is this? What is this idea?
Yeah.
You know, this like someone is new with a real vision and idea, and they're not only that, but they're pulling it off. Like they're able to execute it, right?
Ooh, is this his Music of My Mind?
This is like his his Music of My Mind.
Oh,
this is his
whole
off the
classic
wall.
period.
Yeah. And then you get Voodoo, which is like, so with Brown Sugar, the reason why I say that, like, it's the beginnings because it's so amazing. It's so good. But he's about to like realize what this vision is on such a deeper level because of the experience that he has with Brown Sugar, which is like what every artist does, right?
Yeah.
Is like they come in with all these great ideas, but it takes a few years to marinate sometimes and like learn some lessons. As he talks, I think he's talked about how this album, he's like learning lessons about how to produce and how to do things.
Yeah.
And then you get Voodoo 5 years later and it's like, oh, he has, not only does he have it totally figured out and he's got a real purpose with it, but the culture has also caught up to him.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a little bit with Music in My Mind where the culture kind of wasn't ready for Stevie
Right.
that first album, but by the time he gets to Intervisions, everybody's like, okay, we get it now and we're here with you. And by the time D'Angelo gets to Voodoo, it's like, oh, this is amazing.
Right.
And also he's peaking artistically. He's found this voice. And then you have the later period for him, which is sadly for him, I feel like there was probably more to come that we just didn't get because he tragically passed away so
There
young.
may be still some stuff coming, I'm hearing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But Black Messiah is a lot, to me, as musically energetic as these first two.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little more wisdom. There's a little more introspection. There's a little more, honestly, he's Black Messiah, which I hope we listen to someday here.
Yeah,
He gets so sophisticated with the arranging, the orchestration.
Yeah.
You know, he's really
Strings.
stretching the strings,
Yeah.
the tonal color palettes that he's using on that one are of a very experienced, seasoned person who's made some amazing music. And it's like, usually you get this in 10 albums, right? And we get it in 3 with D'Angelo. Or you get it in, like with directors, right? It's like you got Fruitvale Station, you got Creed 2, and then you got Black Panther. And now that's like, you know, Kugler's Voodoo, right? And And then now Sinners is in this like classic period, like this like peak period or whatever.
Yeah.
Listen, Kugler might have like another 3 films that is he's really PTA is like in his later period for sure. Like There Will Be Blood is definitely his Voodoo kind of thing. But man, I love thinking about that because I think there is just in our lives we change, we go through these stages, and it's so cool that art so consistently reflects that with most people. It's really cool.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, look, we can't compare. It's like with these great artists, it's a quality play. It's not a quantity play. The quantity varies as you mentioned with the different filmmakers, different artists. You know, Prince, somebody incredibly prolific, obviously. You know, keeping that quality level. But I mean, the thing is, a true artist like sticks with like what is given to them. What is the higher power giving to you, and what is the cadence that you can do that? And that's whatever it is. There's no playbook for that. So it's like we celebrate what we're given and what comes out of that. So on that, before we move on from All Right, I just wanted to play a little bit of the rhythm section on here, because we're going to listen to the vocals, and I wanted to give a shout out to you know, D'Angelo and Bob Power, who's playing guitar. This is D'Angelo doing all the rhythm section, which, you know, isolated, you can really hear some of that Rhodes or that whirly. That wah, oh, the timing on it. But I really do think that this is like, because of these really interesting grooves. I think at the time there was a little bit like, people love this record and we're like, whoa, but there was a little bit of sentiment, now that I'm remembering back, just like, oh, neo, especially once they got that term out there, which was early. Yeah. It was kind of like, oh, this is just a throwback and now it's going to be a fad. You know, everything that's old comes around. This is like going to the thrift store and getting the Metallica t-shirt and that kind of thing. But like and you're talking about it taking time for people to catch up. That's what had to catch up. It was like, oh no, this was not just like, I'm gonna try to dress like Marvin Gaye and
this wasn't a trend.
Wish that I was living in the 70s. You know, it was like, it was about the process of making a record, a very intentional record, taking those influences, but not just those influences, some of the 90s, late 80s hip hop grooves and stuff, and putting it together in something that had never been heard before, which got coined neo soul, but that's not just what it was. And I mean, you know, his gospel chops and roots, we're going to go back and just listen to the vocals. I don't want to tell you that this is stunning because that'll give it away. But to me, sue me, I think this is great. No, it's like I was saying, in the mix, the vocals are so well set that they're not lost. But if you're not like on a killer system at the right volume, you don't hear it like this.
All right, that's all right. We made for misunderstanding, that's okay. That's okay. Because you're my girl and I'm your man, and that's just fine. That's just fine. Girl, you trust me, well, we'll be alright.
Man.
Because all we can
Check
do
this out.
is just talk for a while. And everything she at least we try.
Man.
So let the seas back, relax. Cause everything gonna be alright.
I'm a sucker
And
for
they gave it
man.
that space. They gave it that space, brother.
I'm glad you mentioned Marvin in your intro because there's
Yeah.
a lot of Marvin there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But I mean that do hey, like, and then he pulled back on any backgrounds there. Like, this is as much about the arrangement. Like when you see things that listed like vocal arrangements, you're just like, oh well, yeah, he's singing all the parts, of course.
So
What does
good.
he got to claim everything? It's like, yeah, that's all up in it. Like, what do you leave out so that things can shine? But man, I could sit here and like, we're not gonna do it because we got a whole killer album.
We got Jones in My Bones next, man.
And these sweet,
And it's different every time. And you know what's interesting about this? So he was able to put these backgrounds. He would record the lead vocal, then he'd come in one at a time and layer these on. And they were not like written out. They were arranged, but they were arranged up here.
Yeah.
And then he'd listen, and then he'd add. 2 years later, maybe 3 years later, when he met Roy Hargrove and they started working together, he realized. And again, this is D'Angelo, the curator, the band leader, the producer, the playing chess.
Yeah.
That like Roy could do that.
Yeah.
With the trumpet background.
One of the greatest at it.
And he gave him that space in the arrangement. He's just like, okay, just add in what you hear in there. And you could say like, oh yeah, well, he happened to be around a great trumpet player, so it all came together. But knowing how to place that and to give him that space. Genius. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you liked that, didn't you? Okay, now we're going to go on to Jones in My Bones.
Envelope filter.
Yep. And this is a little shades of Voodoo, Black Messiah. This is Russ Elevato makes
For
this,
sure, for sure.
Not Bob Power. And this is D'Angelo playing everything.
Yeah, you cut it up loud now too.
Yeah.
Do you like fat with a PH bass?
Yeah, I do. I do, Peter.
I remember when I heard the bass on this album, I was like, oh, come on. But it's like 45 seconds of just like vibing before the groove comes in.
Yeah, this is really closer to the Voodoo vibes. If this were like Questlove,
Yeah.
you could hear
Yeah, I
this
know.
on Voodoo.
Exactly.
And a little some Roy backgrounds.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, you could hear this.
Yeah, and this is, the beginning. Russ Elevato, who would go on to work with, mixing and tracking most of Voodoo, maybe all of it, and Black Messiah. Really, part and parcel with D'Angelo from this. So this is kind of cool to hear. He's on a couple of these tracks mixing, but you get that sound and those ideas, that creative input. Okay, so don't say your famous thing. I'm going to turn that off, but I'm going to give it to you right again in a second, okay? I want to talk about another record here, which is like, why do we need to talk about another record? This is a killing record. A little thing called Live at the Jazz Cafe.
You love this album.
In London. I love this record. And sue me. And it came out, it came out a couple of years later. It's kind of a weird.
One of the greatest live albums ever.
Yeah. But they recorded it in, I believe it's September. But it's definitely like in the fall, just a couple months after Brown Sugar came out.
Mm-hmm.
And they played a lot of the songs off of this. He was doing a lot of press and just a few gigs. He was doing some touring though. But I got to tell you, for a couple months for a new artist that's 21 years old, to get to the level that this band was at with his playing and singing is amazing. So we're going to reference on a couple of these tracks because this is the thing. This is great. What we just heard, I love this intro. Like that melodic material is so great.
How could it get any better?
But it's very clean. It's very, a lot of affectation, studio, not trickery, but studio sound on it. Okay, so let me just play that one more time because I do like it. You could have that, but wouldn't you rather? Oh, man, come on. In a little club bass. So it's gone from his head now. Now check this. Oh, push. Come on, when the drummer comes on my tempo. What is it? On my tempo. Oh. I said it's feeling that I got won't leave me alone. Got a Jones in my bone. I said it's feeling that I got goes on the show, on and on. All my life, I've been waiting, I've been holding on to everything. So look, this is not about like.
Wait, was I there in a Kangol bucket hat? I feel like I might have been there in a Kangol bucket hat.
Man, and this
was 95?
Yeah, 95, September 95. Jazz Café, which is in Camden in London, and really cool place. I played there a couple times. I couldn't imagine what a mob scene it must have been, because this is like, he had hits out, and but the idea of like that you can go from just a few months before, I mean, I probably recorded maybe a year before, but within the year of that kind of sound in your mind, and then putting it, and then to actualize it with the whole band, I think is just fantastic. So. Yes, I do like that record. We'll be hearing more from it. Should we move on?
Yeah, Me and Those Dreamin' Eyes of Mine. This is an amazing song, man. I love this one.
This is another good one that's good.
By the way, this whole album, like I was just about to say, this first half is so good. So's the second half. Like, there's not a bad song on, there's no bad songs on any D'Angelo, but there's no let up.
I know.
They're all bangers.
I know. I thought that there was.
No, there's no
But
dip,
upon
no
further listen, I was like, I had a lot of trouble finding any kind of drop. Not weakness, but just drop. Me and Those Dreamin' Eyes of Mine. Oh.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, country.
My power, man.
I wanted you down.
That Hammond, come on, D.
You know, when you have the bass that's so sub-bass heavy,
Yeah.
some of the most powerful things that it does is leave space. Like those breaks between notes
Yes.
are so important.
Yes. But to place in the mix and just keep that power of that low end on the organ is very difficult, technically.
All I do is sign. You're the most precious thing, baby. I got my dreaming eyes has ever seen. So I can take a dream. Me and those dreaming eyes of mine. Oh,
Quartet?
It's just that you're the finest little thing that I ever saw.
It goes so hard. This whole album goes so hard, man.
Right. I'm gonna blow your mind if you like this song. My brother got his energy back. Come on, high five.
Something like me.
Look at him.
You be with me.
Man, D'Angelo, the master of this small little, this small melodic riff.
Well, you know who that is? You know who it reminds me of anyway? Is Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway on all of those albums, those live albums, his Rhodes playing, the whirly playing where he's doing those little riffs in between his own singing. I think there's a lot of that in this, man. And you can just hear that influence in it, man.
That's a great call.
So good.
Great call. Okay, if I can find this, since you like this, I wasn't planning on this, so I have to find it. But if you like that.
Oh, I love that. Bye from Jazz Café.
Oh, this is with Angie Stone singing background. That'd be nice to have Angie Stone in your back. Groove activated.
Hey.
But man, backgrounds. This is a killing band. Dynamics.
All of his live bands were always killing. It's like Prince. Like you're so right. In one of his many talents, besides obviously like singing and creating music, was picking personnel, was picking
and then
the right
leading
people.
it.
And
but not leading like D'Angelo. And I know some people that played with him and stuff. It's like it was very much from the keyboard, from the mic. But that is such a skill. Like those dynamics, those, and it's very easy to be like, oh, look who he had. He had, from this band up to, Chris Dave and Pino. It's like, oh, you got these great musicians. No, you still got to pull that shit together.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before, especially back when. I mean, this is the thing. I don't want to old man it up in here.
Do it.
Boomer time.
Get your cane out.
We're gonna do a little boomer time. No, but it's like not that there's many bands or acts that could release an album now and then go out on. What is it? I don't know. And then go out on tour and a couple months later with the hits from that. But we used to see this a lot. Like people, and then it's like you're going out and doing gigs, and even great artists. What would happen if you go to see them? It would not be as good as the album. Because they didn't have the technology to cover it up back then. That's part of it.
Yeah.
And it's just they didn't have their shit together yet. It was hard to recreate it. The fact that 3 months later he's out with the band, I would say arguably doing this better than on the record.
It's really good.
You know what I mean? That's at 21.
I'll argue with you about that point, but it's I think as good as a live album is.
Yeah. I mean, it's different. Of course, you've got people. And this is it was a cool gig, Okay, so me and those Dreamin' Eyes, I'm glad you liked this because this was like, I kind of forgot about this, but this was a big like remix. This was actually this was the era of the remix, which still exists. But it was really like the prime time for that. And so there's a couple good ones. Do you want to hear number 1 or number 2? You don't know what they are. I mean, I'm going to give you a
number
little.
1. What if something happens?
This is J Dilla, 1997. Oh. This is dope.
Come on. Might be better than the original.
This is so killing.
Oh. I've never heard this. Man, where have I been all my life?
This. The contrast from that Dilla snare sample and those keys.
This is the greatest thing I've ever heard. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Woo! That chromatic chord.
I should have played.
Figure that shit out, Peter. What is that? I want to know.
I don't want to. Crunchy.
So nasty. It's so good.
Man, Dilla's bass note choices are so weird and wonderful.
Newsflash, J Dilla was a great musician.
No, but like what his and like in the cracks and then what he's leaving off. Oh. We gotta get Kareem Riggins on this show to break this stuff down and put his own.
He's got Kareem Riggins has a great new album out right now with a producer named Liv.
You featured it on
Gina. It's incredible.
Yeah, on Fresh Take Fridays.
Yeah, really.
Okay, if you like that, okay, this is dangerous. It's bad to play any other. This one's good too, but I have the feeling I should have reversed it. But this is Eric Sermon, which I always loved his stuff. And Redman.
I love Eric Sermon.
Yeah,
and Redman.
Yeah.
Redman.
Joshua Redman. This was.
Keep on coming back like I'm a cooker. Time for some act, but I don't push.
Now we're in the 90s, early 90s. Come on, midnight.
I'm here all day for this. Don't tempt me with a good time.
This might not have come out in the 90s, but there's still some of these around then. Oh.
Damn. Peter, deep cuts here, man.
Come on, man.
Great picks.
That's how we do it.
Wow.
This stuff's not even on the record. But yeah, anyway, so that one was the most remixed one for whatever.
It's enough to make me say like, shit, damn.
Motherfucker.
Which happens to be the name of the next track.
Yeah, we're not just potty
album.
mouths. What's funny is, wasn't this the period? Wait, mid-90s. This was like the
Tipper-Gore?
Tipper-Gore. This was what was her thing? Just Say No? No, that was
parental advisory stickers.
Yeah, this one definitely. I took it off, but it was definitely on here. Yes. Okay. So now we're coming to Shit Damn Motherfucker. And this is just D'Angelo and Bob Power. You're seeing outside of two of the cuts, a real pattern on this.
This is hard. This might be my favorite track. Every track, once I hear it and I'm in it, is my favorite track. But this one is the one I think about a lot.
Do you like a nice, nasty cheating song?
Yes.
That's what this is.
Oh, it might be my favorite genre of song.
Nasty cheating songs?
Yeah.
Borderline murder, bluesy murder.
The big payback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ominous. It's not creepy. It's nefarious already, right? And I love the build on this. Double it. Oh. It's crazy. And then a little jazzy release, like maybe it's not true.
They're tipping.
Oh, it's true. No, Power? He hadn't even started yet. What happened to this? What happened to a minute of just vibing? Can we do that?
Why are you sleeping with my woman?
Okay.
It's a great question. It's a great question.
It's valid. Man, this is the most direct track, too. There's no allegory or simile or metaphor. Why are you sleeping with my woman?
It's not even a setup of I came home early from work. There's none of that.
And apparently, damn. And you know what? Would you not feel that way?
Yeah.
Is that what you'd say? Shit, damn. Motherfucker.
Be the first thing I would say.
Apparently, people ask D'Angelo, like in interviews when this album blew up, or like, what's the story on that? They're like, what do you mean? They're like, in Virginia, this happens all the time. He's like, that's the... Oh! Float on into the next verse.
I mean, this might be...
Motherfucker. How do you make it sound so pretty? I used to think that was an ugly word, but not after this.
It's so good, man. It's so good. Let's keep going. I could talk forever about it.
I could also say, if you like that, wouldn't you rather?
The live version.
This is one that...
It is cool that there's like...
The studio version made...
The studio version's hard to beat. It's great that you're showing this, like, because this came out right as the album was coming out.
Oh! The tipping part is hipper on this, I think. They just go harder. I think I saw Shark. I don't know if it was Shark.
I mean,
they go big band.
In a live context, it makes so much sense. So good. So good. All right, I want to get to smooth because we have...
I want to go sit in front of the Jazz Cafe in Camden in London with some B&O headphones on and just listen to this with my eyes closed. I don't care if I get robbed. Or I don't care if it rains every day. I don't care. Sue me. Okay. What'd you say?
You heard it here, folks. London, be on the lookout. No, I want to get to smooth because we actually have, not only do we have friend of the show, actually a couple friends of the show on this.
Friends of mine.
We actually interviewed the guitarist on this next track. Back at, you remember the, let me take you back to 2020, Peter. January 2020.
Was it still out? No, this was after that.
No, January 2020.
Yes.
Before the COVID pandemic.
What's that? When we...
You, me, and our good friend Sean Weil were in New Orleans.
Yes.
Nolans is what we were saying back then. And we were at the Gen Conference.
Yes.
And we interviewed one Mark Whitfield for this show.
Yes, we did.
Do you remember that?
I absolutely do, now that you've reminded me. I remembered it. I didn't remember that's where it was. That was great. Well, we're going to hear him right at the beginning of this track. This is Mark Whitfield.
Just cutting like a dagger through there, Mark Whitfield.
Man, his whole personality.
Shredding.
Yeah.
And this is...
The groove? What?
Gene Lake on the drums.
Yeah.
Larry Grenadier on the bass.
Larry Grenadier on the acoustic.
At this time, the Brad Meldau trio.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta just play. This is one of the great little, like, to me, this is almost like, well, I think Larry said something about this, like it's almost like Count Basie, where you're like, oh, that's so simple, but it's so perfect. But this little line, this piano line, and this is some of the, there's not a lot of acoustic piano that D'Angelo plays on this record, but there is some, and this is some of it. But this little melody line, it's just so perfect. And I was saying, well, I'm going to play it, and I'll tell you what.
That tinkly bassy, that tinkly Ahmad Jamal.
What would I have played?
You would have Mark Whitfield the hell out of that.
But and then the sort of not antithesis, but the corollary,
contrast,
the contrast to what Whitfield just played.
For sure.
Oh, so great. And this minor 6 vibe. It's a little sneaky jazz, right?
Definitely jazzy.
It's like Henry Mancini, like. Is it jazz?
I can't stand to take things so slow. Look at you, and you're so smooth. Oh, when I'm around you, I can't keep my cool.
Little sharp 9-chord there.
Yeah.
There's a great piano solo on this too, isn't there?
Yes, yeah. We're gonna get to that a little later, as in the categories, though. So,
I mean, could D'Angelo have been? He could have been a jazz pianist almost.
Interesting, you would say that. Yes, and I don't know that this is a pivotal point, but this is straight from D'Angelo's mouth, talking about a really interesting thing from the same interview we heard earlier, which was, I believe, from like around 2014, something like that.
I'm going to pass you to this guy at VCU, in Virginia, who still taught at VCU. It was Ellis Marsalis,
Wow.
Winton's father.
Wow.
Who's still teaching at VCU. And I went and auditioned for Ellis Marsalis. And
Wow.
James Moody, matter of fact.
Wow.
James Moody was up there. And I was like 13, 14. And got on the piano and I played the Anita Baker song. Because it was the jazziest song I could think of.
That's so funny.
And so I played Anita Baker and, they were impressed and it's like, oh, that's good, young blood. And wow, I was like, so, are you going to teach me? Do I get to, He's like, nah, I'm getting ready to leave. So he's getting ready to leave that year and go teach back in New Orleans. So I never got a chance to really get any, like, jazz training or what have you, like that. But I always felt like that was a good thing that I didn't.
Why?
Because it would have changed my whole style. It would have changed my whole style of playing. That's what it meant to be, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, what a wise old soul. I mean, it's kind of like,
I mean, it's a real sliding doors moment.
Yes.
If Ellis Marsalis is there for another 3 years and he's like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, D'Angelo could have been Sullivan Fortner before Sullivan Fortner. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. It's like, what do you expose? Like, wait, where's the intersection? It's serendipity, right?
Yeah.
It's like what's meant to be.
We just mentioned 2 90s rom-coms, by the way. Sliding Doors, Serendipity, so shout out. But yeah, it is. It is like...
Shout out Matthew McConaughey.
I also, man, I wouldn't be lying if I thought sometimes the same thing about me. Like, if I didn't have a band director, shout out Jeff Melsha, in my sophomore year in high school.
Thanks a lot for all the Herbie Hancock CDs, man.
Yeah, no, but I mean, someone who's pointing me towards straight ahead jazz very heavily and got me lessons, and those lessons led to gigs really early, and that led to a path of this, that, and the other. Like, I wonder about that sliding doors moment. And I wonder, too, about the money.
Well, yeah, I know.
No,
More or less. We
I'm
don't
kidding.
know.
I'm kidding. No, but maybe that's a little bit what he's talking about. Is like, there is like a limiting mindset sometimes, not in jazz musicians ever, but in like the jazz industry about what it could be, what the sound is, how broad it is, and there's not in other forms of the music.
You know what's crazy about this? I just realized, like, I had met Ellis Marsalis right before this when I was in high school, and I was actually thinking about going. I had met Wint Marsalis before that, and he had talked about, you should study with my dad. He'll show you, because Wint was helping with different things every time he'd come through St. Louis, and was a mentor to me and to many. And he's like, you should study. And then I think he told me, or I found out, that Ellis had gotten this position at VCU in Virginia. And when I was thinking about, going to music school, I really wanted to play jazz, and I was like, can I go to New York? But there wasn't like, there was jazz programs, but not like there is today. And so I kind of had my mind on it. And I remember calling because you used to have to call on a telephone and say hello.
Is that how you talk?
Yeah, a little bit. It's Mr. Marsalis, but I called him and was like, I'd love to
Ellis.
come.
You called
Ellis Marsalis. In fact, went and gave me his number in Virginia, and I called him on a landline. We were going landline to landline back then, my friend. Yeah, and I remember we talked. He's like, yeah, well, the program. He kind of discouraged me because he's like, I'm not really sure about the program or how much longer I'm going to be here.
Wow.
And then I heard this guy playing Anita Baker in the background. Now it's all coming together. No, I didn't hear that. But he discouraged me. And sure enough, the next year, he went back to New Orleans, started the program at UNO.
Same time for you and D'Angelo. We're both talking to Ellis.
He was, yeah.
Wow.
Actually, now that I just put that together. Me and like 100 other pianists.
Again, like sliding doors moment. You could have gone to music school studying with Ellis Marsalis and been a peer of D'Angelo's.
Well, more importantly, I could have been hanging with D'Angelo and made it on this record. But but I was
that
probably
is crazy.
17. Yeah, I was 17 then.
It is crazy.
So it
is crazy. I'm not, by the way, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from a career in jazz at all. It is just an interesting thought. It's like, for all of us, it's like you get on these paths and like just one decision gets made or one person points you in a direction and like, now that's your whole life.
I think D'Angelo was, and look, I'm projecting some. This is not like, I'm not a journalist and I didn't know him. I know a lot of people that know him and I've heard the same stories most people have, but you just got the feeling from listening to interviews and researching for this and listening to his music. And when you love somebody's music so much, you do start to project certain things on him. So I may be doing that. Yeah. But I have the feeling he's just one of those people, and we all know people like this, that they're just so damn good at like doing what they're supposed to do in this world. They don't get caught up with like what you're saying, like you're even questioning, if I had in my band, like, I don't think he questioned. He's just like, no, I didn't say it
just wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant. And then later on, I'm willing to wait till later on to have that filled in when that other door opens. Yeah. Like just to give themselves. And that's a very rare thing. I'm not good at that at all.
No, to be perfectly clear, I think I'm exactly where I should be. Like just where all my skills have luckily come together to be sitting in front of this microphone with you, my friend. But it is these interesting moments that happen early in our life that dictate the rest of our life.
Man, it's like I think about, and I connect D'Angelo so much with Roy Hargrove and their musical camaraderie and their brotherhood through the music and kind of like, this intersection of hip hop, soul, jazz, gospel, that they were both just so much innately in them. Raphael Saadiq, like these different people that come together where they're just like, you're connected and you know it,
Absolutely. Okay, Peter, this next track. Cruisin. I love the original, Smokey Robinson.
Yeah. Sue
Cruisin.
you? I'm not going to sue you.
Cruising together.
Let's do it.
And I love this more.
You would not be the first to say that.
I love both. Those both are amazing, but this is...
And number 3, the highest level, is this at the Jazz Cafe. No, they didn't do this.
Also, it's like, we're now in the back half of the album.
Yeah.
Perfect place for a cover.
Number 7 out of 10. Come on.
Perfect spot. Just when you're like, ooh, okay,
slight release.
I'm learning all these new songs. I've never heard these sounds before. How about a little Smokey Robinson?
Oh, man.
How about a little childhood?
How can we gather around the fire? The soul fireplace?
Come on, kids.
And if you want it, you get it forever. Oh, just not a one night stand.
And this one's interesting too, because this is, I think, the only track that's entirely played, produced, everything by D'Angelo. And I think it's the only one with strings too. Now, let's go dominant 7. Let's go
Dominant 4. I think about, this was from 1979, right?
Yeah.
I think about his choice of covers on these first 2 albums. He does this on Brown Sugar, and he does Feel Like Making Love, that Roberta Flack made famous from... Is
that First Take?
It was that First Take, I think. So. Yeah. And it just shows you, it backs up what we're talking about here. His love for the 70s soul music, that sound,
Are both those right up there with the originals?
I think both of those, for me, in my humble opinion, I like better than the originals.
Oh.
And I know I got some flack when I said that about Feel Like Making Love when we did our Voodoo album. I stand by it, man.
Yeah.
That version of Feel Like Making Love on Voodoo it's one of the better tracks on that whole album.
Oh, it's great.
Which is full of great tracks.
It's
another no skip album, you know what I mean? So
I think too, like, it's hard for us to remember like how revolutionary or evolutionary. Like the sound of this record, you really hear it on this track in mid-90s R&B. When you talk about Boyz II Men, Mariah Carey was huge.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, there's great records out of this time, but this was like...
No, all of those artists were amazing. Jodeci,
Yeah.
like all of that stuff. I couldn't get
Alanis
enough
Morissette had probably the biggest record of this period.
R&B, Alanis Morissette?
Morissette? No, but I'm just,
The Jagged Little Pill.
R&B adjacent.
That was a huge
Yeah.
monster album.
Yeah.
But yeah. Man,
There were some people like me listening to... I had both those CDs, my friend.
Jagged Little Pill?
Absolutely.
You had Jagged
I
Little
love that
you
record.
did not
I
have
sure
Jagged
did.
Little.
That was actually a year before this, though, wasn't it?
No, it was 95.
Was that? Okay. I
think so. Yeah.
I thought it was a good record.
Cool.
Cool. Cruisin'. I like it.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Peter.
Yes.
We were just talking about that Feel Like Making Love from D'Angelo's Voodoo album.
Yes.
Did you know that I did a whole lesson on that song, that version of the song, all of the harmonic moves, the modal interchange that happens?
It's great. Remember, I was here with you, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On my course, the Harmony Games Unlimited
Yeah.
at Open Studio Jazz.
Yeah.
And just today, literally this morning, as I speak this,
Yes.
I recorded a lesson on the last track of Brown Sugar, Higher, also from that course.
Yeah.
Harmony Games Unlimited.
Yeah, we're not just jazz here. We're jazz adjacent. We're soul. What we like to do is take that lens of jazz and shine it. Does a lens shine? We don't know. We're looking at it.
Yeah.
We're looking through that jazz lens because it exposes so much great stuff in soul music, R&B, great music.
That's right. So if you're looking to not just enjoy the great music of people like D'Angelo, Stevie Wonder, and jazz musicians too, like Bill Evans, Stu Kellington, Herbie Hancock, Miles Davis, check out openstudiojazz.com. Go to openstudiojazz.com/YHI to start your free trial. That's openstudiojazz.com/YHI for your jazz lesson needs.
There he is. Back to the show. Okay, we're moving on to track number 8. We got a little more jazz. I have this listed as jazzy number 2.
For sure.
Okay. There might even be a little straight up swing on this. When We Get By. This is another one of the Russ Elevato mixes, just for those of you following at home.
Shout out to Russ Elevato. We didn't talk about him enough on the Voodoo episode, although we did talk about him a lot, but he still deserves so much credit on these things, man. His sound is so distinct.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
I mean, that's straight up tipping.
Yeah. Man, this song has grown on me so much over the years.
I love this song.
I used to skip over. I was kind of a jazz purist when this record
you
came
were
out.
for sure. This is
I
not
was a nerdy jazz purist.
This doesn't swing like Art Blakey. I can't listen to it.
I mean, I was damn near still listening to Art Blakey live at this time.
You know what pulls this together is this, the melody.
Yeah.
I love the 90s, man.
I want to go back, man. Nobody unfollowed me then.
Just everything smelled like Dracar Noir.
No YouTube comments saying the bald one. I can get by. You know what's interesting on this too is that I got him. No, I realized this whole record, and we're gonna talk right after this about is this too clean, or as I don't want to give away what D'Angelo calls his own record, but because of maybe a cleaner sonic palette that's provided in the mixes compared to Voodoo for sure.
Yeah.
You can understand everything D'Angelo's singing.
We talked about this with Voodoo.
You can't understand anything.
So sublimated in the mix, and even a little more mumbly in the performances on Voodoo.
Yeah.
Which producer Caleb was like, I mean, it's kind of good. It's a pretty dirty album if you listen to what he's singing.
This was crystal. Well, there's a few things that you're kind of, but it's like shit. Damn motherfucker.
Elocution.
But a lot of it is the mix, you know. So, in fact, actually, this is D'Angelo speaking, you know, years later about this record and sort of some very interesting thoughts, specifically about kind of the sound of it and the mix of it.
And so when we went into the studio to record, I mean, it was really like in my opinion, I felt like after it was done, I loved it, but there were certain songs that I felt it lost something. between
Wow.
the demo version and all of the production that went into it. I felt like it got a little homogenized, in my opinion.
Homogenized.
That's very, very interesting.
Vitamin D.
I remember hearing something about it, that he was like learning from this experience
Yes.
and put that into Voodoo. And it might have been something I read on Voodoo itself, but like that's very interesting to hear him say that.
Yeah.
You know, and you can hear how much more organic he goes in Voodoo 5 years later, you know, and how much more of a band album that is even. It's not just him, right? It's like all of these amazing musicians that are really jamming for years to get that album.
And I think it kind of validates a little bit my thoughts in terms of the live stuff right after this being a little bit closer to his vision on it, perhaps. But let's just hear, okay, you ready for the big hit? You ready? You want to hear Raphael Saadiq, who's, you know, co-wrote this famously Lady with D'Angelo. You want to hear him talking about this first, or you want to just jump in?
You do whatever you need to do.
I started playing
Raphael Saadiq.
Lady. That's the first thing we worked on was Lady.
Wow.
I played the guitar riff for D'Angelo, and he said, I like it. I said, cool. So I was going to call somebody over to play my guitar parts over. He said, no, you should leave what you did. And that's the first time my guitar playing ever got on the record. Wow. Ever got on the record, yeah. Wow. So, but I think how we came up with it, we figured it out. We were playing, and we were playing behind the beat, but I think we were just really trying to lock something in. And so he would fall back, and he would start laughing, then I would fall back, and we started kind of smiling and laughing, and it we just kept going back and forth, but not talking about it, and it became sort of the style of his record. But that's the way he sings, that's the way he plays.
Wow.
And it was just natural for him. But he's a Dilla fan. And so then, you know, I'm a Dilla fan too. So I figured it out later. We were just mocking Dilla. Or we heard it through hip hop.
Yeah, right.
Maybe
right.
it's
through
not
Far
Dilla.
Side records.
Maybe we heard it on some Wu-Tang records. Maybe we heard it on some Tribe records.
That's cool.
I love hip hop.
Yeah.
Right. So
Sue
I
him.
think
That's very cool.
both our love for the Hawkins and gospel and hip hop and rock and songwriting, it was just the perfect storm at the right time.
Shout out Justin Richmond, friend of the pod, guest of the pod. That was from his interview for Broken Records. Here's Lady. You heard that? Yeah, I think Raphael had that line together.
That's it for me. That when the bass comes in there, that's all I need.
I don't
Ever.
mind starting on the chorus. A good chorus start, let's do it. Intro.
It's an important part of the
It
form,
is.
man.
It usually comes later, though.
It's all right.
Oh,
One of the greatest songs of the 1990s.
yes.
Don't think I'm sleeping looking at you. All of them wishing they could have you. And as a matter of fact, a bunch of them itching for you to scratch.
Was this the biggest hit on here? I think it was.
I think so. Right here. Here's that line again.
Saadiq's on bass as well and guitars.
We got to get some bigger speakers in here, man. We got to get a better
big.
sound system. I know, but I want to hear that. I want to
You
feel
want to
it.
feel it. Okay, again, that's
What
great.
a great partnership, him and Raphael Saadiq.
know.
It's so cool that he had this mentor.
They only did hits together. That's nice, but
greatest.
perhaps you'd rather.
No.
I don't know. Check the.
Okay, maybe.
It's not either or. Man, live soul records. This is channeling Donny Hathaway. Live at the bitter end. Percussion. It's different. It's not better.
I believe I won't say it one more time.
Free, open form. You don't have to be on a click track.
Is there a little Teddy Pendergrass in this one?
Little
The
Teddy
live
P,
version?
perhaps, yeah. He couldn't have done that many gigs. Well, he did do a lot of gigs in church. He's so seasoned, though.
Such a wonderful lady.
something that might interest you?
Band sounds so good.
Man, this is the kind of thing. How many gigs have you been on, especially in your younger years, where stuff like this just goes disaster? You can't hear.
I've never been on a gig like that.
Exactly.
I'll be honest.
Oh man, and later on, I'm gonna jump ahead just to really. They really start. Yeah, it's fun. Bring it back. All right, we're having fun. We're just having fun here on a Thursday.
That's so great. Penultimate track on the album too. There's only one left, and
yeah, how did that happen? That the big hit was
number 9
was buried down there.
Happens a lot, man. It happens a lot.
That's true.
But number 10. First of all, can I just say, my lizard brain loves a 10. My Roman brain loves a 10.
Romans! That's Monty Python.
Thank you. Loves a 10-track album. There's just something very clean about it.
That's right. X.
Yeah. But the higher, this is, I love it. I love this so much.
Should we maybe jump in as we're coming towards the end of the episode? Jump into the tracks?
For sure.
I mean the categories, sorry. So we have, as you like to say, we have 10 categories, right? 9, 8, 10, just like you like it. And the first category is Desert Island Tracks, and this is my Desert Island track.
It's higher, and he's going to end with Church.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Ralph. I believe it's Roll is how you pronounce it. Ralph Roll.
Ralph Roll, I think.
On the drums.
Rich Roll's brother, my friend.
Doubt it. Will Lee on the bass from the Late Show with David Letterman's band. Bob Power on rhythm guitar.
That's such a church entrance, too.
Oh my goodness, it's so great. Let's not go anywhere, Peter.
Come on, we're not going anywhere. I don't have an appointment. Appointment with the Lord.
Organ playing on it is so amazing.
Tick, man. Everybody's doing the right thing, man. Doing the right thing.
When I think about you, sparking that love, oh yeah, within my soul. And when I touch
I love that line.
yeah, I can't describe it. Sending chills, yeah.
That thing.
Down to my bones.
What am I doing?
And watching over, right our love, we'll right our love, yeah. Right our love, yeah. Please give us strength, Lord, to fight our battles, and we can walk on the streets of gold. You take me higher.
I mean, it's not just soul music of the 70s. It's gospel music of the 70s.
Straight up.
You know,
and these are not all gospel musicians that came up with the church. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Leadership that are even playing on this track.
Leadership is right.
Bob Power, Will Lee. I don't know. I doubt they did, but they're playing it.
Tell me what you're thinking of. Tell me what you're thinking of. Must be thinking about love. Put your hands into my love, and then we'll take off to the skies above.
The changes are killing on this. I mean, this, with everything so great on this record, this might be like D'Angelo's right down in the middle of his lane.
I mean, this is what he's been doing since he's a kid.
Man, this is like, you just feel, you know. Oh, and I mean, this is his highest creativity for vocal arrangements on this record too.
I just wanna share that love. I just wanna say I want you in my life till the day I die. I just wanna show you I want you in my life. I just wanna say I want you in my life till the day I die, baby.
All right, I'm doing it.
Tell me right now.
You're putting the CD in the CD player. Go for it, Pete.
Yeah, so I'm on the desert island. I'm cool.
Yeah, you're good with the Lord.
Every day.
Yeah.
I'm getting right with the Lord. I'm being entertained.
Man.
The soul is satisfied. Yeah, I just think that like he's so creative on everything. Hip hop, soul, we talk about gospel, jazz, rock, especially later on, but like I don't know, man, gospel is like sometimes he's got range, but when he comes here,
for sure,
just because it's so creative, everything he's doing.
What I love about this track for me is this has been like coming back to Brown Sugar over the years.
Yes.
As an album. This one means more to me as the years go by. When I was 15 and I first heard this album, I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that interested in it.
Right.
It's why my Desert Island track is Brown Sugar, just because the nostalgic factor of it. Like of remembering high school parties with it playing, of remembering driving around in my 84 S10 with it bumping, of like feeling like I was like it's something from my generation, like a new kind of music that I'd never heard before. So Brown Sugar is my Desert Island. But man, Higher means probably the most to me right now from this whole album.
That's great.
Apex Moment, what do you got?
So I've got
this would be Apex Moment means like our personal opinions on the highlight of the album.
Yeah, and this is very counterintuitive because there's a bunch of moments that I first wrote down on Higher that are true. I mean, like to me, that track, it's almost, in a different way stylistically and tempo-wise, but it's like a music in my mind evil. Like in a way, there's no debate. Like the apex moment of the album, it all leads.
It is
all
Higher.
leads to Rome, right?
I think you're right.
So there's that, but
second Rome reference.
well, because of the X. But so I'm going a little counterintuitive, but I like my new thing is on Apex Moments. I'm trying to find little weird hidden things that are just like woo, like fun things. That you wouldn't expect.
We like fun around here. We like fun.
Yeah. So D'Angelo's piano playing on Smooth we talked about, but I love his solo. Like he was not known as like this incredible. I mean, he had a lot of jazz.
This is a good solo though.
And jazz harmony, but he wasn't like ripping and running on that. But on this, I don't know, man. There's some killing stuff in it. It's not even an official solo. Kind of sneaks in there though. Oh, little Phrygian. Come on.
He could have done it. He could have learned how to.
But I mean, the reality is that's all the jazz piano most people want to hear anyway.
100%. That's all. A lot of our.
So he nailed it.
Yeah.
But you know what that reminded me of? Man, talk about J Dilla. So I got your spirits up. I got you higher earlier.
God, here we go.
But man,
I can't take it, man.
I'd forgot about this. You might not know.
Can we
this.
do some Dilla on this show either?
We got to do a whole Dilla show. My dream
What's
is
been the
Kareem Riggins going to be sitting here in the middle of us, and we're going to be like high-fiving about But check this out. Okay. And then I can tell my Kareem Riggins story when he came and played with us with Roy Hargrove when I first met him when he was 20 years old and killed it. You might not know this as one of D'Angelo's greatest piano solos, but check this out.
I love this track. Yeah. This is Common, right?
This is Common.
Dilla beat from, what is this, The Light? Yeah.
And it's similar to the little sneaky, and it's got this great mix on the. Yeah, exactly. Killing it. And he's sneaking in with. So great comment stuff. I'm gonna sneak ahead. Sorry.
Is that a D'Angelo thing?
That's D'Angelo.
I steal this.
Yeah.
I do that. Wow.
You talk about knowing what to play. Oh, right there, that line, man. This gets me every time. Check it out.
This turned into a Dilla show.
Yeah. Check this line out. It's so sneaky.
To that
man.
dominant 7.
Oh man,
That's another Donnie thing. Another Donnie Hathaway thing. Throwing in that dominant 7 when over
Little
the major
Herbie,
7.
Herbie octaves. Come on. Yeah. So anyway, that's man. The whole rest of this thing is just killing.
So your apex moment is a Dilla track.
What's D'Angelo playing solo on a different record?
My apex
and
moment.
I highlighted the other record that I thought was.
My apex moment from Brown Sugar, Peter, is.
I'm sorry, you didn't want me to play you that and tell you that it was D'Angelo?
I love it. We do have to do a Dilla episode for sure.
Come on. I feel like we just did.
I know. I love it so much when the bass drops on Lady. Like when that first You're My Lady and the bass comes in. I feel like that's, to me, the greatest moment of the whole album. If not the greatest moment of 1995.
Right.
You know?
This was 1995.
Not this version.
Sorry.
I love the live version. I'm talking about the studio. Yeah.
What is that?
Reverse bass.
Oh, and it's like he somehow gets that rhythm in it
Killing.
with the bass
Killing.
drum.
So good. What do you got for a
That's
bespoke
very
playlist title?
I got Bridge Builders.
Good.
I think, bringing the different styles, hip hop, soul, not neo soul, jazz, gospel, as we said. What do you got?
I have not neo soul, but I have neo bam. So, you mentioned these bridge builders, right?
Yep.
This is like soul, hip hop, jazz. Like this to me is why Nicholas Payton coined that term, Black American music, and has been pushing for the use of it to define this, because the sensibilities, this philosophical alignment of those three kinds of music is so evident in Black American music. It is the DNA of it. And this album is Black American music at its core, at its best. And it is in 1995, like the pinnacle of really all music in America. To me, this album was. But like to me, it combines all of those elements in a way that I think, from my ear, all Black American music has.
Yeah.
Like it's just a continuous thread. The genres are a bunch of usually like marketing exec BS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, even we learned here, everybody said, this is the birth of a new genre, neo soul. And D'Angelo himself is like, that's not how I see it. I see it as Black music. And I think there's something important for all people who make music to think about how that artist that you love thinks about how they make their music, because it helps us make music. Like the sensibilities and the way the Black American music is made is as important. The culture of that is as important as anything else, as any of the sounds or anything that we're getting here. So I think you can't take the gospel out of jazz. You can't take the jazz out of soul. You can't take the soul out of hip hop. Like it's all connected.
Can't take the D out of Angelo.
100%.
That's why it's D'Angelo. Thank you for that. Yeah. And I think but this is what makes it so fun to like deconstruct, or just to look at the construction of this stuff. Because when you have something that's great, if you believe that it's great, or if you don't care, whatever, but it's like to go in and see, what are the gospel elements? What were the details that were worked on? Like this stuff it's not just random improvisatorial, like, look, a genius just came up with this. Like the craft that goes into this, especially when you're bringing in these different elements it's uncanny.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was bespoke playlist. Quibble bits. This will be an interesting one. What's your Quibble bit?
So mine really is, I mean, it really is a small bit, but like some of the drum loops, I do wish that there was Questlove. I do wish that he had, like we were listening to Me and Those Dreamin' Eyes, right? I think that was one of the ones we were listening to. And I was like, man, I wish that was on Voodoo so that I could hear Pino Palladino and Questlove play on that and Roy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, now that's a very, like, I still love this whole album and I love the drum samples, but if I had to put something in this category, it would be that.
Well, you can just listen to Jazz Cafe, and that's what I'm saying. There's your solution right there.
Evangelist for Jazz Cafe. What's your Quibble bit?
That is this record maybe similar to that, but not so much with the drum loops, but is it too, in the words of D'Angelo, homogenized? And also in that interview, he goes on to call it buttery.
Interesting.
He felt that is, and I mean,
too clean, too pristine.
Yeah, well, the interviewer actually said, is it too clean? He's like, not clean. He's just like buttery.
Interesting.
You know, is it too, he said some of the tracks, some of the stuff that he felt was ready to go off of the demos that him and Power had done over those 3 months.
Yeah.
He felt that the sheen on him after that.
Are those demos anywhere in your research?
I don't know. That would have been something.
Yeah.
If only we had an hour and a half podcast, we could have played those on. Come back.
I used to, man, when I was writing a lot of more pop songs, I love making demos, and I would it was a problem. You get attached to those demos, you know, it's like it's hard not to.
But to tell you the truth, that's not even, I mean, upon listening to this, because we have Jazz Cafe, I actually love that we have this studio version. I think it's great. My actual Quibble bit would probably be the strings on Cruisin', which I think are the only strings on here. They're just aight.
Yeah.
You know, if they're way in the background too.
I think
they might actually be better if you could hear them better.
I think they're good, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
There's something a little bit, they could be a little better.
But he gets to that later.
He does.
On his last record.
He does.
Snob-O-Meter.
Yeah, the strings on Black Messiah are amazing.
Incredible.
Amazing. I have a 3.
Okay. I have a 5, so that comes out to 8. Total.
That's not how it works. Okay. Is it better? So this is interesting.
That's what we're going to do. We're not even going to talk about it anymore.
We don't talk about Snob-O-Meter.
Yeah.
So usually you have like, is it better than Kind of Blue? Or for an album like this, we might do, is it better than Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions? But
That's not fair.
You have, is it better than Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill?
Because I knew we were going to talk about it. I was so prescient of me, right?
I actually do also love Jagged Little Pill. Speaking of high school, like it was such popular music. I never bought that album or anything. Like I bought this one, but I do love a lot of those songs. But I do think that yes, it is better than Jagged Little Pill.
I'd agree. Yes, but I think Jagged Little Pill. I wouldn't mind that showing up on this. I'm just wondering.
It'd be fun to do Jagged Little Pill. Producer Liz in Canada would probably appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great stuff on there. I mean, I don't know if like we get like some of these records we get into, and it's like, oh yeah, it's great as expected. Like these really really great ones. Like the more you go back to them, you're like, oh, like there's so many layers. I don't know. There's definitely some layers there, but. Not like on this one.
Accoutrements. So the cover, the album notes, the back cover. What do you think?
Man, I'm going 9. And because I think the back cover is so just a reminder.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so not like that's soul, that's R&B, that's hip hop, that's 90s. Got the big Timberlands on. And I love this picture in here. I love the one with the piano.
It's a great jacket. It's great boots. Great jeans.
What a model D'Angelo was. Have you seen the Vanity Fair shot? I mean just a superbly attractive man. But at the piano, I love piano. So that's a great one. That look and his hair. To me, the only thing that pulls it back from a 10 in a way is the cover. I would give the cover an 8. Only because it looks like the background's been removed, which is easy to do on your iPhone now. And they did. I mean, it's great. But I think all these other pictures, the whole package is great.
I have 9. I have 9 as well.
Okay.
What do you got in up next?
You're going to be shocked at this. Live at the Jazz Cafe. Live at London Jazz Cafe.
Okay.
Because that's literally what I would be. What do you have up next?
I have Baduism, 1997. A couple years later, Erykah Badu kind of solidifies this quote-unquote genre.
Yeah, absolutely. Soulquarian. Now that we should be talking about Soulquarians as opposed to the neo-soul.
Agreed.
You know what? We are back on Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts loves us. We got featured as on the new page.
We've been making a lot of moves over there. Yeah, it's great. But we do want to
fresh
remind
off
you
of our Ambi nominations.
Okay, let's not brag. We do want to remind you though that we really appreciate any ratings and reviews you put for this podcast, whether that's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or on YouTube. Give us a rating and review.
Now, if you're not like a technological working in Silicon Valley, it can be difficult. I'm going to put that out there. Is that a good way to
Apple
get reviews?
Podcasts?
Yeah, to get to the review
you
part.
can do it. You can do it.
You got to log in. And
we have hundreds of them.
Yeah, we do. Actually, it's not hard at all. That's a challenge for you.
So here's a couple. This one is from Fletch NYC. I think that's Chevy Chase's account. It says,
No, it's the guy from Ledoux, actually.
It's my favorite new podcast, great tunes and expert analysis.
Yeah.
This one is from Curious House Hunter. And this is, I stumbled upon this podcast accidentally while looking for jazz piano tutorials. It has become a weekly ritual listening to Adam and Peter discuss amazing music, some of which I grew up with, but some they've introduced me to.
Oh, we love to hear that.
This podcast has brought a tremendous amount of joy into my life. In addition to being warm and funny and authentic, Adam and Peter are
I think it says
incredible
warm and fuzzy and authentic.
musicians, and the intro and outro musical arrangements are fantastic. I'm also an Open Studio member. Shout out, Curious
Shout out.
House Hunter. So I will give that a plug here as well. I appreciate that. As a lifetime classically trained pianist, I'd long given up transitioning to jazz, but I'm giving it one more shot. Thanks so much for all the work that goes into the show. It's truly special. Thank you, House Hunter. And a reminder, if you want to learn more about some of the piano courses we make at Open Studio, go to openstudiojazz.com/YHI and start your 14-day free trial. Peter, you got anything else?
I think that's it, man. I'm inspired, man. Just, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for this record. I'm thankful for you.
Likewise.
I'm thankful for my family, for my parents.
Wow.
Now I got to name
It's
everybody.
like an acceptance speech. Oscars came
Thank
early.
you. I want to just be, I've been so excited about the nomination.
Buddy, we didn't win the Ambie. Just a
Oh, we
reminder.
didn't. Okay, forget it.
Till next time.
You'll hear it.